Microphone's not on, so. Oh, mine is?
Make your signature
Whoops.
look good. Bounce you around.
I didn't do it.
You need a pen?
Thank you.
I was going through the map yesterday. We've got 4 county commissioners in our district, city commissioners now.
Do we?
Got Ann Dunn,
All right, Diane.
Nelson
You
Andrews,
wanted us to get out of here
Mark
on time, so
Gorman,
get up here.
and Ray Little.
Well, I turned myself back on again.
They used to, Mark and Ray used to be in the 5th.
They both moved, I suppose, or did
We
the
moved.
districts move? Yeah.
We now have Lou Green's house in our district.
We got 18 here.
It moved to Moffett Lane. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're number 6.
And I think you're my
Only,
number 7.
only 44 to go.
I've got 7 of 2. It's time to call the commission meeting to order.
Okay. Turn on your machine. Let's go. Oh,
Got, at this time, we will have the invocation by Commissioner Paul Webb and the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe.
please stand. Let us pray. Dear God of all, we thank you for all the blessings we have received. Please bless and guide the public servants in our hospitals, clinics, and nursing homes through the day and night treatment where they care for all those with illness and pain. Lord, we ask you to look over the men and women serving in uniform as they protect us at home and around the world. Please guide this body tonight as we work for the residents of our grateful community. Lord, we ask for your healing hands to lay on the mothers of our members, Greg Lawrence and Dana Alsbrooks, as they are currently suffering from illnesses. God of light, please guide us, light our pathways, and let it be that we may know your will and follow with joy and humbleness in the path you have laid out for us. Lord, please hear our prayer. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did you get your machine?
At this time, we're ready for roll call. If you would, please pull up your app and sign in. Okay. Are we ready? Call the roll, please. We have,
Okay, hold on.
keeps changing.
It does keep changing. Yes, sir.
says I'm present here. It says I'm present.
Okay. 20 present, 4 absent.
Okay.
Commissioner Lawrence, Commissioner Guffey, Commissioner Osbrook, Commissioner Hudson.
I have heard from Commissioner Lawrence and Commissioner Osbrooks. They are out because of illness with their mothers. I've heard from Commissioner Guffey. She's kind of stuck out of town, out of country. And we've heard from Commissioner Hudson, and he had some illness in the family and wasn't sure he could make it. So next we have approval of the minutes. We have a typo in the agenda we need to correct. The agenda says November 1st. The correct date should be November 8th. The minutes were correct, but we just need to correct the agenda. This time we have a motion by Commissioner Beathard, a second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Are there any additions or corrections? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. To approve the minutes, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. In which you change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
The minutes are approved. Do we have any citizens' communication? We had no one sign up from the citizens' communication. We have a proclamation you said was pulled. Okay. Commissioner Hester, we're understanding that the proclamation is going to be pulled to a later date, or?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And we are, resolution 32 did not come out in the agenda, so we don't need to worry that. Resolution 1-22-33 has been, the very last one has been pulled. It'll be brought back at a later time. The very last resolution has been pulled. I think that's all my announcements, communications, and messages. Next, we have report of county officers. County Mayor.
Testing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, County Commissioners. I'll have Phoebe come up and give us a snapshot of the county, and then I'll call upon a couple of people. Phoebe?
Good evening. Well, I am filling in for Dina this afternoon, but we'll answer any questions as able and get back with anything else we need to follow up. If I can direct your attention, please, to the packet. There are a few things that we do need to make sure that we ensure that are entered into the minutes. We have 3 reports on debt obligation. We did have 3 bonds that we sold, 2 in November and 1 in December. This is the report for each. Your first one is for the County District School Bond, Series 2021. It did have a face value of $25,210,000. You'll be happy to know that our interest rates that we were able to secure on each of these were some of the lowest we've had, and we were really excited about those. For this particular bond, we were able to secure an interest rate of 1.8%. The second bond we issued on November the 17th, of closing date, was General Obligation, Public Improvement, and School Bond, Series 2021A, with a par value of $55,120,000. For this one, the interest rate was 1.8%. The third and final bond I'd like to bring to your attention this evening is for the hospital, General Obligation Bond Series 2021B. It was for a face value of $75 million, and we received an interest rate of 1.65. If you'll continue in your packet, you should find the profit and loss statement for the Cool Springs Conference Center. We do have to report this evening the October and November. In October, we actually received a profit for Cool Springs Conference Center, and the county's debt of the county's part of that we received was $88,432. For the month of November, we did receive a small loss. Our portion was $13,698. You will find in your packet a list. You can go back and see the fiscal year and how we have compared for the conference center. You will see that even receiving the loss of the $13,000, this is much less than what we did last year as of October. So comparing year to year. Also with the $88,000 that we received in November as a net profit, you can see that was a great deal of difference from our loss from prior years. So you can see those numbers are continuing to increase. Next report, if I can bring your attention to the education impact fee. The net collections for November is $2,724,890. You can see as of life today, we have received for education impact fee a little over $93 million at 93.2. And we have available for allocation. This is after what the bonds that we had contributed to in November and December. We still have allocation availability of $43,781,495. We've also included in your packet this evening privilege tax reports for both October and November. The monthly monthly collection for October was a little over $1.3 million. And for November, we actually received $1.8 million. So it was actually for the month of November, the monthly total for privilege tax collections was $1,860,486. There are a couple of other reports listed in your packet. We do have included the month-end report for October and November both. Of course, we're trying to get you caught up from the missing the commission meeting. So I think that is everything that gets everyone up to date. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer as I can.
Commissioner Landrum. Did you meet and speak? Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I've got two other items, and then I'm going to call upon Paul Webb to give you an update on the American Rescue Funds. First of all, the election office, under the oversight of Kevin Benson, our property manager, has moved. It's 100% now over at the Downs Boulevard location. Thank you for the funds that were provided a couple of years ago to make that move and create some room here in this administrative complex. More than likely, in fact, the business section of the clerk's office will be moving on there as soon as we get that renovated. On your desk, you should see a one sheet of paper that says proposed additional county commission meetings. This will come before the different committees in the month of February, latter part of this month. Because of the comptroller's recommendation, we're proposing to add another county commission meeting that will show up, and we're just trying to get that on your calendars, even though that has not been approved at this time. But you can see the dates: June 6th, 12th, June 20th, June 27th, and July the 5th. Under this proposal, even the July 11th meeting, all of those meetings would be in the evening hours, and the daytime meeting would be eliminated. So I'll let you look at that and prepare yourself for it as it goes through, as you plan your holiday schedules for the summer months. And finally, if I could call upon Commissioner Webb to give us an overview of the American rescue plans. Paul?
Under the American Rescue Plan, some is called ARA or ARPA. The county is going to receive $43+ million. The first amount came in August of $23 million. And so the United States Treasury released the final rules Friday. It's 437 pages. So we're working through that now, as there are some changes in the way they put out the interim final rules. Not too many, but enough that we've got to look at it. And so in the short term, we've been gathering the different agencies that can benefit from the ARPA funds. You've heard about broadband being a priority. That is a priority of the federal government, Governor Lee, as well as Mayor Anderson. And so we have the vendors that provide broadband, have had them in here, and they have to submit a letter of intent to the State Department of Economic and Community Development tomorrow by, I think, 2 p.m. if they're interested. So we'll be working with one or more of those to use those ARPA funds. We've also been working with the county utility districts, as the rules allow those funds to be used for water and sewer projects. So all the utility districts, including the cities, have been put on notice that if they would like to partner with the county, then let us know. The projects have to be approved by the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, and they have a scorecard that the utilities have to do. This will potentially enable us to reach the unserved and underserved residents, primarily in the southwest part of Williamson County, but that doesn't mean some of these funds may not be used to deal with some wastewater issues, deal with some freshwater storage issues. So there's lots of options that these could be used depending on what TDEC decides and what this body decides later on. So there's still a lot of work. I think we'll have something for this body in February or March for you to review and approve, so we can put shovels in the ground. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, that ends my report.
The address for the election office is 415 Downs Boulevard. It's a nice new building. I don't know. Diane wrote down 415, so that's what I. So it's 405 or 415. Anyway, it'll get. Commissioner Lathers. Push your.
Don't push your button.
It's.
No.
No, wait a second.
Now
Wait.
push it.
Now push your button. Hers still isn't working. Just talk loud.
Hey, I just have a quick question. We're talking about the reach out to municipalities. They have a period of time where they can actually respond to the county, or what's the deadline look like if they want to partner with the county on the new projects?
Well, the deadline comes in, they have to go through TDEC first
They have to go first.
and pull out what they call an infrastructure scorecard.
Okay.
And then it flows through there, and then the way the provisions are written as we speak is very fluid, is those folks would come before the county mayor for priority.
Okay.
And just for your and Tommy's district, Nolensville has received money on their own from the state for water and wastewater projects. Even though they do not have a water service, they do have stormwater, which qualifies.
Great, thank you so much.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you, Mayor. Next, we have Director of Schools, Dr. Golden. Oh, there he is. We're used to you being over on this side.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We actually just finished a meeting ourselves, so I came in the side door. And thank you all for your work. You have some items on your agenda that have gone through the Education Committee and Budget Committee. Certainly respect any decisions you make with respect to those items. Did want to let you know that that we have had an increase in student numbers. Usually, if you all recall, I talk about the summer being the large time where we have an increase, and then Christmas time or so, we have usually a significant jump that's smaller than the summertime. Usually about a 2/3, 1/3 structure summertime compared to over the course of the school year. From November to December, we had an increase in 5 students. Since we have reopened, we have actually had an increase in 167 students. So give you a picture of how many folks moved in basically over the holidays. We had a conservative projection for this current year's budget based on the reduction in actual students, largely as a result of a year and a half ago when the governor recommended all public schools close. Most every public school reduced their numbers. We projected a 2-year recovery on that. We have had a 1-year recovery plus about 700 students. To give you perspective, we're taking to our board this coming month a resolution related to the necessary teacher growth positions related to that. The good thing is we have had better sales tax revenue than we projected as well. And we've also been in conversations with county government about what do we do to address the quickly changing market for staffing. And so we're going to have some conversations at our school board level related to that, and I anticipate that you all will too, based upon what I heard at the budget committee last week. So those are some numbers for you, and we're really proud of the work we're doing. We have tons of brag points, and I speak from time to time publicly, but I'll save your time tonight.
Any questions? Commissioner Mason?
Thank you. Jason, a while back, I think all of us got quite a few emails about teachers not being paid enough, teacher pay. I'm now seeing yard signs. So my question is twofold. One, are we losing a lot of teachers because of pay issues? I didn't realize that was something, if it was happening, that was happening because we did the increase last year. And my second part of that question is there talks within the school budget of increasing teacher salaries, or is that even a discussion?
I'm going to answer the last question first. Short answer is yes, we are talking about that, and that's part of what I mentioned that we've been talking to the mayor about. Can we address market conditions in the middle of a budget year? And we believe that we have some capacity to do it. So that's your last question first. As to losing teachers, we've actually had a net gain in total teachers this year. Our challenge is, well, there's multiple challenges, so I'll hit a few. Historically, we pay lower than many of our neighbors. Our per pupil expenditure is below the state average. 85% or so of our total budget is people, because we're in the people business, and that is reflected in our salaries. And so the competition is fierce. There's a shortage of teachers nationally and in Tennessee. Tennessee colleges are producing fewer teachers than the growth demands. And so the competition is more fierce than it used to be. Another example, the ESSER funding that so many school districts got, we received proportionately less. Many school districts have used some of their ESSER money for bonuses for hard to fill that were COVID-related positions. And so now more than ever, we are experiencing a loss of certain positions to some of our neighbors who are offering sometimes as much as 5-figure bonuses for some very hard to fill positions. So there's no simple yes, but the market conditions are changing. Even though we have more teachers this year than we did last, it's more difficult. What we are most concerned about long term is there are fewer teachers in our candidate pool than in the 15 and a half years I've been here. And that is largely because there are fewer teachers available. We have a lot of data that we research when folks leave. We have timelines and scheduled for when over the course of the profession we have a higher turnover rate. We have reasons because we do exit interviews. And they're like most any other business, those reasons are across the board, but the competition is more fierce.
Commissioner Sturgeon?
Thank you, Chairman. Jason, you mentioned the ESSER money
Yes, ma'am.
and that we got less
Yes, ma'am.
per student.
Yes.
And one, how much less? And two, is there a requirement that we have to fulfill to obtain that money from, what, the federal government, right?
Yes,
So-
ma'am.
And did we do it? And
Uh,
why are we getting gypped?
Well, the structure at the federal level for the schools was based on an economically disadvantaged factor. And so in Williamson County, our economically disadvantaged numbers are proportionately less than many of our neighbors. So I actually did the math. We received somewhere around $40 per student for 3 years out of ESSER funds. So 120 or so dollars per student based on our enrollment at the time. And I'm trying to remember our raw numbers, our raw totals, but we were required, we being everybody across the country, was required to spend the money on COVID-related loss of learning. There was a minimum base plus other related issues.
Did we have to promise that our kids would all be masked?
No,
to
ma'am.
get that money?
No.
No, okay.
There were no requirements related to that. It was simply, we were told how much money we would receive with the parameters for spending. There were no additional requirements that we do any safety measures.
Okay. So how much did Davidson County, let's say, get?
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. It was somewhere around $270 million, and we received 5.
Really?
And change. That was the structure.
And this is decided by the federal government or by our
That was, as I understand it, that was the federal structure for that funding. In that larger chunk, that larger ESSER chunk. Now, with that being said, we used the funding we had on needs, but with every
It's not gonna be
item
for very
there.
many teachers, yeah.
Yeah, that is what it is. So it was good that we received it.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Webb.
Think from the state school board or anyone that's addressing, I think the latest number I've got, the non-BEP funded teachers in Williamson County is 703 teachers, $52+ million estimated. Any word that the state's going to step up and pay their share?
The state is going through a review process of the BEP funding formula. We anticipate there very likely will be some legislation in this coming session addressing a change in the model. We don't have any specifics on what that boils down to as to specific numbers. So to answer your specific question, no, we don't have any numbers indication related to that. But historically, those of us in education know the BEP model has never been fully funded. I will tell you from our perspective, whatever model the state chooses, the critical question is ultimately how much does each LEA receive, right? How much do we receive? You all cover a little over 2/3 of our total per pupil expenditure with the decisions you make.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Golden. I know we're reviewing an amended capital improvement plan here. While we've got you, can you maybe highlight any changes that might have been presented in this versus what we've looked in the past?
Sure. I'll tell you the big ones that jump out in my mind. We are pushing the completion date for some of our schools a year out from where we were previously. The elementary schools, we're scheduled to open them in 2020, March 2023. We had an original plan to do that a little bit earlier. And so there's some movement there with some of the schools based on our numbers. That reduction in our student numbers a year and a half ago slowed some of our projections for construction increases. And one of the Mark, if I may, are there any other big ones that you'd like me to mention to the commission? Thank you. Middle School East on Cox Road, we've actually deferred it, and that's largely because we've increased the capacity at Page Middle School.
And one follow-up question, because I've gotten this question from my constituents. What's the next projected high school?
The next projected high school is at the very end of our 5-year capital plan. We anticipate, well, let me step back. We've been making it a point to increase the size of our high schools before we come to you with a fully new high school. And we've done that at a number of schools, Franklin High School, Independence High School, on down the line. And so we have some of those expansions on your plan because frankly it's cheaper and we've got the capacity to do it. Right now, we are projecting that the next high school will probably be on the west side of Franklin. We had projected that when Mac Hatcher is completed, that had the potential to expand growth in that area. So it is at the 5-year area of our projections. I do know that what you all do and what the municipalities do with their planning has the potential to impact that.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Williamson Medical Center. Phil.
Thank you for having us, and Happy New Year to everybody. With me this evening is Michael Genesee. He's our Williamson Medical Center CFO. And after I finish with my brief remarks, Mike will give you the financial report. I wanted to first start off with providing you a COVID-19 update. I know the last time we talked about the fact that COVID volumes in that Delta surge were going down, and for the entire month of November and for the first 3 weeks of December, we were running in the single digits to low double digits for the entire month and a half period, and we were pretty excited about that. But on January 23rd, we had 11 COVID positive patients in-house. On December 30th, 7 days later, we had 40. And on January 5th, 7 days after that, we had 53. So we went from 11 to 53, about a 500% increase in a period of 2 weeks. It's really interesting that first major surge we had took about 5 months from the time it started to peak. The second surge with Delta was about a 6-week time for peak. And I'm hoping that this was a 2-week time frame for peak. In the last couple of weeks, we've been averaging from 35 to low 40s. Today we're at 40 COVID positive inpatients, of which 8 are in the ICU and 5 of those are on ventilators. When we looked at some information that we received, it was anticipated that for our region, we would be peaking somewhere around late January to early February. I'm hopeful that information is wrong because I'd hate to see it jump back up again into the 50s and 60s. But right now, we seem to be stabilized in the 35 to 45 range. Since the beginning of the pandemic, we have treated over 5,000 positive COVID cases. We have hospitalized 1,761 cases, and we performed about 37,000 COVID laboratory tests. The next thing I want to do is give you a quick update on our project. You heard that we received the first $75 million of the initial bond funding. We are finalizing construction documents right now. We plan to break ground sometime in mid to late March. The ER expansion and renovation, the OB expansion and renovation, and the West Tower project are expected to take 24 months once we start construction. And then after that's completed and we move into those areas, it'll be another 16 months to complete the renovations. We're working on a groundbreaking event in March, and once we have deals, we'll make sure we invite all of you to the groundbreaking. And the last thing I wanted to do, I've been asked a lot about our relationship with Vanderbilt as it relates to the pediatric facility at Williamson Medical Center. We've been working with Vanderbilt over the past several months to actually strengthen our relationship and our partnership and developing a longer-term partnership. to improve the breadth and scope of the pediatric subspecialty coverage at our hospital. It's been pretty complicated, the negotiations we've been going through, but I'm really hopeful in the next month or two to have some great information to present to the Board of Commissioners. With that, I'll turn it over to Mike.
Thank you, Phil. Good evening, everybody. November was, I'm proud to say, was a good month for us in terms of volume and earnings. You can see the volumes. We've exceeded all of our stats, our key stats that we have from both a budget and from a run rate basis. And that converts to revenue, fortunately for us. So our revenue is up, and our net income for the month was up 21.4%. So it was a really good month for us. And year-to-date, we're running at 54.4%. So we're able to convert some of that into bottom line. Our challenge is the same thing you've been hearing about from the school board as well. It's a labor issue. You know, it's a global issue. And I believe 75% of our costs, being a service industry, are labor related. So that's where our challenge is. But we've been able to manage it as best we can. You know, we use temporary staffing and so forth when we need to, and we have a lot more overtime. So where we're missing it on our expense side is on the labor side. From a cash standpoint, it's always good to see when you have a good financial month that you actually have the cash to support that. And our cash went up $3.4 million. Our debt coverage ratio is 2.5. So we're well in compliance there. As you've heard now twice, and I'll repeat myself for the third time, I'll repeat it. We did receive almost $83 million in bond proceeds with your help, so we're very appreciative of that. I believe the rate was like 1.65% was what the average rate was for that. So overall, good month for us, good financial, good cash month. So be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Commissioner Sturgeon.
Thank you, Chairman. Why are revenues up? Can you tell me what services you're providing that are creating an improved revenue?
Oh, it's the same services, but at the end of the year, we usually have a pretty good volume with orthopedic cases. But COVID was hitting us then. So.
Is it because the federal government, I mean, I've heard this, I've never heard it from you guys, but are you getting paid extra money when somebody goes on a ventilator or when somebody is diagnosed as COVID positive?
We're getting the same money that anybody would be getting. We get about $15,000 a month on our COVID patients. $15,000 a patient on that. So it depends on the severity of the patient.
But
So
is
it's not
that
because of
the
federal
reason for
government.
the increased revenue? Is
No,
what I'm asking.
no, it's not. In fact, we've gotten some cash we haven't even recognized yet because we want to make sure we can realize the earnings from that. So this is all just from our normal earnings side of it. Volume's up. As I said, our stats are up. So when the stats are up, our net revenue goes up.
But it is from COVID. You're saying a lot of our
Well, a lot
volume
of
is up because of
volume
the
is
COVID.
From COVID.
I
But
think that part of it is when we had the significant COVID last year, we had to cancel a significant number of surgeries. This year, we were able to continue to perform our surgical volumes during the last quarter versus last year when we had to cut a lot of the surgery out. So our volumes are going to be up year over year just because of that.
Right.
People try to get their surgeries in before the end of the year for deductibles and co-pays. And so luckily this year, even because COVID was down for November, single digits, and in the beginning of December, it really provided the benefit for us to be able to take care of patients that really need
Right.
to see care.
Okay.
And we're seeing that same thing in January too. So many of the cases couldn't get in by the end of the year for the orthopedic surgery cases.
Right.
So January will be a good month. Hopefully.
Well, thanks for that clarification.
Anything else?
Any other questions? Thank you. There any other county officers or need to want to make a report? Okay, seeing none, moving on with the agenda. We have no elections and appointments. Next, we have the consent agenda. We'll entertain a motion. The motion by Commissioner Webb, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. All in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anybody wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Moving on to new business. Resolution 1-21-1, Resolution requesting the Williamson County Board of Commissioners approval of $2,519,700 for the purchase of buses for the 22-23 school year. The motion by Commissioner Beathard, the second by Commissioner Smith. The School Board Committee was 11 for, 1 against. Education Committee was 5 for, 0 against. Budget Committee was 5 for, 0 against. Explanation, please.
Replaces 23 buses that are over the 18-year term limit in which the state requires us to replace them. It adds 2 additional buses in addition to the 23 that are being replaced.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2-22-2. Resolution for intercategory adjustment for the approval of raises for the 2021-22 budget year. The motion by Commissioner Beathard, the second by Commissioner Smith. School Board was 11 for, 0 against. Education Committee was 5 for, 0 against. Budget Committee was 5 for, 0 against. Explanation, please.
This is for the raise we approved 6 months ago of $8.4 million. The raise goes to all teachers and staff, Williamson County School District.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-3. Resolution of the Williamson County Board of County Commissioners approval of an intent to fund of $28 million for the improvements and new construction at Brentwood Middle School based on the results of the Brentwood Master Plan. Commissioner Beathard, the motion, the second by Commissioner Steve Smith. School Board Committee was 12 for, 0 against. Budget Committee was 5 for, 0 against. Education Committee was 5 for, 0 against. Budget Committee was 4 for, 1 against to defer until February. Explanation, please.
This is for the first phase of new construction at the Brentwood Middle School.
Commissioner Smith.
This and several other Board of Education requests at Budget Committee were voted to defer to the February County Commission meeting. It was determined that the school board staff and the administration staff needed some additional time to take a look at these particular items and determine their impact in terms of our funding model. And so I'm going to offer an amendment or offer a motion to defer 122-3 to the February County Commission meeting.
Is there a second? Second. Let's see, I think I heard Commissioner Story. All right, the second. Commissioner Jones, I think, was the one I heard first. Commissioner Jones, the second. That's not discussed. That's no discussion on the motion to defer. So at this time, we got it loaded. If you're in favor of the deferral, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
17 yes, 3 no.
It is deferred. Resolution 1-22-4. Resolution for the Williamson County Board of County Commissioners approval of an intent to fund of $2,600,000 for the installation of synthetic turf football fields at Independent and Summit High Schools. The motion by Commissioner Beathard, the second by Commissioner Story. School Board was 12-4-0 against. Education Committee was 5-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 5-4-0 against to defer. Explanation, please.
Yeah, this is for the final phase to put synthetic turf at all Williamson County high schools.
Commissioner Smith.
Budget Committee recommended or voted for deferral to the February County Commission meeting, and I will offer a motion to defer 122-4 to the February County Commission meeting.
Is there a second? Commissioner Dwight Jones, a second. Again, this is not open for discussion, so if you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Yes. Isn't that one? What does, yeah, what does say? Okay, all right. All right, if you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Just to clarify, the Budget Committee was 5-0 to defer. Any wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
18 yes, 2 no.
Note the resolution is deferred. Resolution 1-22-5, resolution for the Williamson County Board of County Commissioners approval of an intent to fund of $1,500,000 for the Transportation Building addition. The motion by Commissioner Beathard, the second by Commissioner Smith. The school board was 12-4-0 against. Education Committee was 5-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 5-4-0 against to defer. Explanation, please.
Yeah, this will add 2 bays to our current school bus garage for a total of 9 bays.
Commissioner Smith.
Committee voted 5-0 to defer until February County Commission meeting. I will offer a motion to defer to the 122-5 to the February County Commission meeting.
The motion by Commissioner Smith, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Again, that's not open for discussion, so if you're in favor of the deferral, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
19 yes, 1 no.
The resolution is deferred. Resolution 1-22-6, resolution requesting an intent to fund to the amount of $8,705,000 for the Williamson County Board of Education 2021-22 major asphalt roofs and wastewater plant needs. The motion by Commissioner Beathard, the second by Commissioner Smith. School Board was 12-4-0 against. Education Committee was 4-4-1 against. Budget Committee was 5-4-0 against to defer. Explanation, please.
Yeah, again, this is for the 5-year capital plan, and this money would be used for asphalt and roof repairs as well as some HVAC equipment.
Commissioner Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, Budget Committee voted unanimously to defer until the February Commission meeting. Again, you'll see these again. This is just to give the administration and the school staff the opportunity to get together and take a look at our funding model. So I will offer a motion to defer 122-6 to the February County Commission meeting.
Motion by Commissioner Smith, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. If you're in favor of the deferral, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
The resolution is deferred. Resolution 1-22-7, resolution of the Williamson County Board of County Commissioners approval of an intent to fund for $4 million for Phase 4 replacement of Page High School. The motion by Commissioner Beathard, the second by Commissioner Smith. The school board was 12-4-0 against. Education Committee was 5-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 5-4-0 against to defer. Explanation, please.
This is to fund the $4 million of the $28.5 million for the final phase for the work being done at Page High School, most of the money to go towards a new gym and new locker rooms.
Okay, Commissioner Smith.
Again, in Budget Committee, our conversation involved the potential issue with delay of 30 days. That was not considered to be a fatal issue by the school board. So again, you'll have another look at these projects, such as this one at Page High is ongoing. We just need to make sure we have a handle on the funding model. So I will offer a motion to defer 122-7 to the February County Commission meeting.
Steve Smith, the motion. The second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Again, not open for discussion, so if you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
The motion is deferred. Resolution 1-22-8. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2021-22 Parks Capital Improvement Fund by $10,635.88. Revenues to come from fund balance and other state revenue. The motion by Commissioner Smith, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Parks and Rec did not meet. The Budget Committee was 5-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Steve.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This revenue is coming primarily from an agreement with the State Department of Transportation involving a property easement in front of the Fairview Recreation Center.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Matt. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-9. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2021-22 Parks and Recreation budget by $19,823. Revenues to come from donations. Motion by Commissioner Smith, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Parks and Rec didn't meet. Budget Committee was 5-4-0 against. Explanation, please.
These are funds received by the department from the youth associations that use our facilities, and they're used for primarily part-time officials.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-10. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2021-22 Parks and Recreation Capital Improvement Plan by $90,000. Revenues to come from privilege taxes. The motion by Commissioner Smith, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Parks and Rec didn't meet. Budget Committee was 5-4-0 against. Explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. These are funds being moved from privilege tax collections for the recreation department and being moved to parks and facilities amenities in order to obtain equipment to maintain the parks.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-11. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2021-22 Parks and Recreation budget by $40,000. Revenues to come from participant fees. The motion by Commissioner Smith, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Parks and Rec didn't meet. Budget Committee was 5-4-0 against. Explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Parks and Rec receives fees for events held at the Performing Arts Center, and that's where these funds have come from, and they're used for operation of the center.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone who wants to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-13. Resolution accepting a donation from the DUI Court Foundation of Williamson County, Inc., and appropriating and amending to 2021-22 Williamson County General Sessions Court budget by $25,000, revenues to come from donations. The motion by Commissioner Webb, the second by Commissioner Ricky Jones. Did I skip one? I turned two over, I'm sorry. We'll back up. Resolution 1-22-12. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into an agreement with the State of Tennessee, the Department of State, and Tennessee State Library and Archives on behalf of the Williamson County Public Library and appropriating and amending the 2021-22 library budget by $21,824. The motion by Commissioner Webb, the second by Commissioner Jones, Ricky Jones. Library Board was 8-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 5-4-0 against. Explanation, please.
You can see this is a grant from the Tennessee State Library, which does require a match of 54-56, which is in the current library budget, Mr. Chair.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Thank you. Okay, the resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-13. The resolution accepting a donation from the DUI Court Foundation of Williamson County, Inc., and appropriating and amending the 2021-22 Williamson County General Sessions Court budget by $25,000, the revenues to come from donations. The motion by Commissioner Mason, the second by Commissioner Tunnicliff. Law Enforcement and Public Safety was 5-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 5-4-0 against. Explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is just a donation of $25,000 being granted to the DUI Court Fund.
And I think we need an amendment. Who has the amendment? Steve, do you have that? Jennifer, have you got the amendment? Well, we need an amendment to change the appropriations number. It is on your
Yes,
app. So,
I do have that. 1 second.
so if you would
All
make
right,
that amendment.
we need to amend to replace $390,000 to $486,100. Is that the amendment?
It's an account number.
An account number.
In the revenues from 390000 to 48160.
Correct. So the amendment is for the appropriation number under revenues where it has 390000. We are going to change that to 486100.
Okay, so Chad, can you pull your? Okay. Jennifer made the motion. Can you pull Chad and let Jennifer made it, and then let Chad have the second? Okay. The amendment by Commissioner Mason, the second by Commissioner Story. Any questions on the amendment? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Okay, now back to the resolution as a whole. Are there any questions on the resolution as amended? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. There we go. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes as amended. Resolution 1-22-14. Resolution authorizing the Winston County Mayor to enter into an agreement with the State of Tennessee Department of State, Tennessee State Library and Archives on behalf of the Winston County Archives and appropriating and amending the 2021-22 Archives budget by $3,000. The motion by Commissioner Smith, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Budget Committee was 5-4-0 against. Explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. State grant does not require matching funds.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-15. Resolution accepting a donation from Chuck and Joe Ellen McDowell on behalf of Williamson County Animal Control and appropriating and amending the 2021-22 Animal Control Capital Projects budget by $10,000, revenues to come from donations. Motion by Commissioner Smith, the second by Commissioner Tunnicliffe. Public Health didn't meet. Budget Committee was 5-4-0 against. Explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We just want to thank Chuck and Joellen McDowell for their very generous contribution to the animal control project.
Commissioner Mason.
Yes, I would just like to clarify the second whereas Miss McDowell's name is misspelled. I would just like to make sure that that's fixed. It's just a typographical error.
All right. Yeah, I think that's just a typo we can fix in the final copy, I think. Anything else? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Matt. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-16. Resolution authorizing the Winston County Mayor to enter into a grant agreement with Tennessee Emergency Management Agency and appropriating and amending the 2021-22 Office of Public Safety budget by $336.16, revenues to come from Emergency Management Performance Grant. Motion by Commissioner Smith, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Budget Committee was 5-4-0 against. Explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is some additional funds on a larger grant that came through, and we're just adding this amount. Excuse me.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-17. Resolution authorizing the Winston County Mayor to execute a grant agreement with the State of Tennessee Department of Military and the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency and appropriating and amending the Office of Public Safety 2021-22 budget by $167,314, revenues to come from Homeland Security grant funds. The motion by Commissioner Mason, the second by Commissioner Sturgeon. Law Enforcement and Public Safety was 5-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 5-4-0 against. Explanation, please.
This is a grant awarded to us that does not require any matching funds.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Okay, anyone change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-18, resolution amending the 5-year capital improvement program for schools, roads, fire protection, and recreation. The motion by Commissioner Smith, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. The school board was 11-4, 0 against, 1 pass. Law Enforcement and Public Safety was 5-4, 0 against. Highway Commission was 4-4, 0 against. Education Committee was 5-4, 0 against. Parks and Rec didn't meet, and Budget Committee was 5-4, 0 against. Explanation, please.
We do every year in updating our capital improvements program projections for the 5-year period. It's something required by the state for us to be able to access facilities tax and adequate schools facility tax. It is not an intent to fund. It doesn't guarantee approval of any specific project that's contained in here. It is just a planning document that you can take a look at, and if you have any questions, you can address the particular department involved.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-19. Resolution authorizing the Winston County Mayor to enter into a lease agreement with Tnhd Partners, LLC, DBA Moonshine Harley-Davidson for Harley-Davidson motorcycles. The motion by Commissioner Mason, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Law Enforcement and Public Safety was 5-4, 0 against. Budget Committee was 5-4, 0 against. Explanation, please.
Thank you. We have done this now for several years, looks like going on 6 years, with this particular division of Harley-Davidson, the Moonshine, located here in Cool Springs, where they generously agree to lease to the Sheriff's Department, to the county for $1 each, motorcycles that we then have outfitted with law enforcement equipment, and they're put on the roads and utilized by our Sheriff's Department.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-21. Resolution declaring certain Williamson County-owned property and equipment surplus property and authorizing the sale of the property and equipment. The motion should be Commissioner Rainey. Can you
Yes, it's simply, as it's stated.
Press your motion button. All right, Commissioner Rainey, the motion, the second by Commissioner Bethard. Property Committee was 4-4, 0 against. The Budget Committee was 5-4, 0 against. An explanation, please. Now. And a note that Commissioner Mosley has informed us that no commissioner can bid on any of these items. So,
Not technically a commissioner, but no, the commissioners cannot bid on the surplus items. I don't know if that was a promotion or not, but
what did I say?
you call me Commissioner
Oh,
Mosley.
excuse me. Trying to rush through. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-22, resolution adopting the 2022 Williamson County Road List. The motion by Commissioner Smith, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Highway Commission was 4-4, 0 against. Explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, this is another thing we do every year. The Williamson County Road Highway Superintendent submits the list of roads in various categories in order to maintain an accurate inventory.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution renaming Hickman Williamson Road as West Old Cox Pike on the Williamson County Road list. The motion by Commissioner Dwight Jones, the second by Commissioner Ricky Jones. Highway Commission was 4-0 against. Explanation, please.
This is just a quarter of a mile off Bentonville Road. And a request to change the road name, and there's nobody, well, there's one house, I guess, that's gonna affect everybody.
Okay. Commissioner Ricky Jones, do you have any additional comments? No. Okay. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-24. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute a long-term option lease agreement with Vogue Tower Partners, VII LLC, to construct and operate a telecommunications tower. The motion by Commissioner Mason, the second by Commissioner Tunnicliff. Property Committee was 4-0 against. Law Enforcement and Public Safety was 5-0 against. Budget Committee was 5-0 against. Explanation, please.
Thank you. This is a standard lease for a property tower in order to put equipment on it. Various companies will lease space on the equipment, and I believe there's also space for our emergency management to use as well if needed.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, press the yes button. Opposed, the no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-25. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute an amendment to the interlocal agreement with the City of Franklin and the Williamson County Emergency Communications District for providing emergency communication dispatch services. The motion by Commissioner Mason, the second by Commissioner Sturgeon. Law Enforcement and Public Safety was 5-0 against. Budget Committee was 5-0 against. Explanation, please.
Thank you. This agreement was put in place 5 years ago. It is now up for renewal, and we're asking, instead of 5 years, this time it be extended for 10 years.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. In favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-26. A resolution to reduce the speed limit along a portion of Clovercroft Road in Williamson County. The motion by Commissioner Story, the second by Commissioner Tunnicliff. Highway Commission was 4-0 against. Budget Committee was 5-0 against. Explanation, please.
Yeah, as the city of Franklin continues to build along Clovercroft, there's a portion of Clovercroft Road that is becoming a little dangerous towards the end of getting close to Wilson Pike. So this is to help reduce the speed there, to help curb some of the incidents that have happened over the last year of people running off the road and into people's property.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Commissioner Williams. Anyone who wants to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
The resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-27. Resolution to adopt a new park policy implementing limitation of events in Veterans Memorial Park. The motion by Commissioner Method, the second by Commissioner Aiello. Property Committee was 4-0 against. Budget Committee was 5-0 against. Explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And this resolution requires an amendment. The original resolution that came before the committees did not contain the last paragraph, and I'd like to make an motion at this time to remove the "and be it further resolved" paragraph that is at the very bottom.
The motion by Commissioner Beathard, the second by Commissioner Aiello to strike there and be it further resolved. Are there any questions? It is loaded. If you are in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Mr. Sturgeon. You're not putting, we won't put a sign up. The policy will go in place, but there won't be a sign
Oh,
posted
so
at the
we're
property.
removing the last paragraph? Okay,
Correct, yes.
thank you. Thanks.
Anyways, change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Okay, it is, the amendment passes. Explanation, please, on the resolution.
This gives our property department, as well as other offices, Diane's office, more control over the events that are held at Veterans Memorial Park.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. On the motion as amended. Your resolution, excuse me. On the resolution as amended. If you're in favor, that's the amendment. Now we're ready for the vote on the motion. As amended, okay. Well, I don't think I ever hit the vote button. All right. It says voting over here, and it's got a vote over here. So,
As amended, so the voting should be open.
it's not giving us anything to vote. All right, we're going to do a voice vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution passes. 20 to 4, as amended. Resolution 1-22-28. Resolution accepting a donation of Dogway stations for the new Animal Control and Adoption Center from Mars Pet Care US Inc. through its Better Cities for Pets program. The motion, Commissioner Rainey, if you'd press. Motion by Commissioner Rainey, the second by Commissioner Sturgeon. Property Committee was 4-0 against. Public Health didn't meet. Budget Committee was 5-0 against. Explanation, please.
Have the newest animal control station. We're going to have the cleanest too. Total control, 14 stations generously donated by Mars, and we thank them.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-29. Resolution to authorize and establish the establishment and assessment of fees collected by the Williamson County Animal Control Center for full-time county employees. The motion by Commissioner Smith, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Public Health didn't meet. Budget Committee is 5-0 against. Explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What this does is establishes the same fees for full-time Williamson County residents who happen to live outside the county as it's comparable to residents of the county. So it's something we're doing for for those county employees who may live outside the county. I do need to offer an amendment where it says adoption service and lists the different services with proposed fees. That adoption service needs to be changed to spay and neuter services.
That is in the second whereas, I believe, isn't it?
No, it's in therefore be it
Right there
resolved.
it is, adoption.
In the second whereas.
So it needs to be changed in the second whereas and in the,
Yeah.
in the table. So that is, we have the motion by Commissioner Smith, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote on the amendment. Or we got a question? I'm sorry, Commissioner Mason. Got too many screens to look at. So.
Just so I'm clear, this is allowing full-time employees the same spay and neuter rate as Williamson County residents. So not adoption, but spay and neuter. Okay. So there's also in the fourth whereas adoption will need to be changed to spay and neuter. Wherever it says adopt, yes, a find and replace function.
All right. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, are you ready to vote on the amendment? If you're in favor of the amendment, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
The amendment passes. Now we're back to the amendment. Are there any questions on the motion? Back to the resolution. I'm rushing through this. Seeing no questions, I assume you're ready to vote on the motion, the resolution as amended. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes as amended. Resolution 1-22-30. Resolution to increase the tipping fees to commercial haulers at the Williamson County landfill. The motion by Commissioner Ricky Jones, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Solid Waste and Municipal Solid Waste Board was unanimous, but I don't have the count. Do you know that?
5-0.
It was 5-0. Budget Committee was 5-0. Explanation, please.
This is just to raise the tipping fees on Class 1 and 2 waste from $40 a ton to $50 a ton to $75 a ton. Should not have any impact on residential haulers at all. It's just on commercial haulers.
And it extends our, this is expected to extend our landfill for how long?
Mac?
Mac, I was going to let him,
Yes.
it's substantial.
Yep.
Tennessee counties are responsible for residential solid waste, not commercial solid waste. So we're taking on our responsibility like we should. And if we do this, we think we can have 50 years of life for residential construction, demolition, disposal at that landfill. We're still going to keep the transfer station to send trash out of the county.
Are there any questions? Thank you. Seeing none, thank you, Mac. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Steve? Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-31. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute an asset donation agreement with the Tennessee Renaissance Festival Incorporated. The motion by Commissioner Smith, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Parks and Recreation didn't hear it. Budget Committee was 5-4-0 against. Explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This follows along with the acquisition of the property on 96 East where the Renaissance Festival has been held for a number of years. Part of that overall agreement, as you remember when we discussed it previously, was that the Freemans wanted to donate the equipment and facilities and operation of the Renaissance Festival to the county, to be managed by the Parks and Recreation Department. The Parks and Rec Department will be able to use the facility out there for many more activities than just the Renaissance Festival, so it'll be very beneficial. And this is just purely a donation. You can see the equipment that's involved on the attached list, and ask for your approval.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Commissioner, you having trouble? There we go. All right, anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
19 yes, 1 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 1-22-32 is on the agenda, but it was pulled, and 33 was pulled, so I think that completes our agenda for the night. Are there anything else? Do we want a score reported? Those that say... All right, so if you want the score, you can come up here, we can tell you if you don't know already. We are adjourned.